y'all, welcome to my channel. So if you came across this video, clearly you're trying to do your hair, and if so, you came to the right place. Before you continue watching, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Help us sister out. In this video, I'm just going to teach you guys how I do my boho knotless. This was my first time. I'm not a professional braider. I'm going to teach you guys how I prepped my hair, how I separated my hair, and how I actually braided my hair. So if you want some steps, some tips, save some money, I did what techniques work for me, beginner friendly, continue watching. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're jumping right into the hair prepping. So I'll start off with just washing my hair. This is very crucial with any type of braid style, I feel like, because the braiding gel, as soon as you sweat, if you have a lot of oil in your hair, it immediately turns to grease. These are the products that I use, but you can use whatever works for you. And I do recommend a protein treatment. That's the last item that you see. Again, any one that you use works for you, but I think with braids, it's really important for not having that breakage because it's a protective style, but it's only protective if you make it protective. So protect your hair system. Here, I'm just going in to pre-part my hair. I do have work the next couple days, so my goal is to part it enough so when the day comes and I use the gel, the parts are a lot cleaner. This honestly was one of the steps that had me reconsider my whole decision, because this was before I found the hack that I mentioned later in the video that made this process a whole lot easier if I had it. So the amount of rolls that you pre-part will kind of just be contingent on how big or small you want your braids. I'm going for like a smaller size, so I went ahead and just did 2 small sections in the back, and then I went ahead and parted across ear to ear, so I could do 7 rolls on the left side, 7 rolls on the right side. So you do a middle part, and that should be 14 total rolls that you have across the front of your head. Once the front was finished, I went ahead to the back and finished pre-parting. So in total, I added about 8 rolls in the back, 2 sections at the top. Notice how my parts are curved. To me, it just makes the braids look a lot more natural opposed to the straight rolls. Once my hair was all pre-parted, I went ahead and tied it up, and I was feeling super proactive, so I decided to pre-section my hair as well. So for my braids, I'm using Outray's pre-stressed X-Pression hair in the length of 52 inches. And I bought the exact pack that's on the screen here, and I only used 2 packs of that, so that's 6 bundles. And to my surprise, I had a lot left over. So once I finished the pre-section and half a bundle, this is how much hair I had on the rack, and I went ahead and got myself ready because it was time to go to bed for work the next day. All right, y'all, so I just got off work, ready to go to bed, honestly, but we about to tackle this here. I got me a little snack, just something quick, a little quick snack from Longhorn. I think I'm about to just jump in the shower real fast. Y'all, for the past 2 days, I've been going to work with my scrub cap and my wig on. Look how my wig is under that scrub cap. Like, that is literally insane. But hopefully my parts are still in order. So I'm out the shower. I really want to dive into my quick snack, my appetizer, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna just show y'all my products. I'm gonna go in there, I have to blow dry the back because I want it to be as easy as possible when I'm actually going into part. So these are the products that I'm using. Neatbraid. I also got All Day Locs Braiding Gel. We're gonna go with Magic Fingers Shine and Jam Mousse to finish it off, along with some typical olive oil sheen spray. So I'm about to go in my room. I'm gonna take my 2 braiding gels and my rat tail comb. Y'all, I decided to try this trick that my coworker told me to see the back of my hair. I'm gonna screen share on my TV, and I'm gonna use the camera to see the back of my head so we can get the parts crispy clean. All right, so, oh wait, maybe I should turn this around. Hold on. Y'all, this is so smart. Look at the screen. Y'all can't even really see. Like, I can literally see my whole head nice and clear. All right, y'all, so as y'all can see, my parts, my parts are, they still kind of in there. I'm definitely gonna have to clean it up with the gel, but that's okay. And I can see my parts so well on the screen. I honestly don't even think it was that bad. Like, I thought I did a terrible job, but no. From what I could see, I'm only gonna go with the first 2 rows, and I'm gonna clip the other ones up for now. All right, y'all, honestly, my part looks really good. I'm very shocked that I did so well without this hack because I was struggling. Granted, it probably would have saved me some time, but better late than never, I guess. I got the hair, so I'm gonna do 4 braids in the back. think I'm gonna try to braid in a boho piece in this braid too. But as y'all can see, not too shabby. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab, and I think the size is pretty decent. I don't know if it's too small, but the back of my hair is really short anyway. Like I got a fade or something, so it needed to be small, I feel like, anyway. Not too small though, because I don't want it to break off. I decided not to add any boho to this piece here. I honestly think I'm not gonna add any to this row in general. So I'm gonna do these last 3 braids in the bottom row, go eat my snack, and then we're gonna jump back in. So I got me a Caesar salad, lobster tail, and I got me a ribeye and some fries. We're looking okay. The parts are not the straightest. Again, y'all, this is my first time, so as I like worked through each braid, I was noticing which techniques worked a little bit better for me and which didn't. One thing was definitely when it comes to adding the boho hair, it's easier to do it when braid under instead of over. I don't know why, but it was. Another thing, adding the same amount of hair to each braid so the braids come out the same size. I kind of learned that a little late, but it's okay because that's why I'm starting in the back, so I can kind of like learn from my mistakes. That's another tip I would suggest. Start from the back because you'll be able to get to see what techniques work for you and which don't. Another thing, less is more. Less is more. Meaning with the gel, you do not need a whole bunch of gel. The parts will look a little dirty, if that makes sense, if you have too much gel. So try to use a little bit of gel if you can. And yeah. Next thing, with the boho hair, I did not section it off, separate it, because I don't know why. Every time I go to my Boho Knotless, I do see them pre-section that. I don't know who I thought I was that I didn't need to, so. But yeah, that's like my key tips for y'all. So right now I'm gonna just go ahead and pre-section some hair off, and we're gonna repeat those steps. Once I get towards the top, I'm gonna kind of give a more in-depth tutorial, and I'm gonna show y'all actually how I add the boho hair and how I feed in my braids. So stick with me. So my phone overheated, so I had to take a break from doing the back. So I was like, let me just show y'all how I'm doing it, since I gotta start doing the top now anyway. And now I'm just separating my boho pieces. I'm doing nice and small. Being that my braids are fairly small, I'm doing kind of like this size is the maximum, and then I go smaller. I'm going for like the messy frizzy hair, if that makes sense. So I'm doing like a lot of thinner boho pieces, and then the bigger pieces are for the bottom to give it the fullness. All right, so you're gonna go ahead, section off your part. You're gonna add a small amount of gel. You're gonna put that on the sides, the top, and the bottom to mold it into place. Okay. I like to take my rat tail comb and I like to just kind of press down where I put the gel, just to give it that extra mold look. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and section my hair into 3 pieces. Once I got my 3 pieces, I'm gonna go ahead and start to braid. So I'm gonna go across, across, 1 time. This is how big my piece for the braiding hair is when I'm starting off. Very small. Why? Because you don't want it to look bulky at the root. I learned my lesson from the back. All right, so you see how I braided 1 more time? I'm gonna go ahead and add another small piece of braiding hair. And the way I'm doing that, I'm just tucking it, so y'all can see this, the hair. I'm tucking it under my middle finger, right where the braid is gripped at. And then I'm gonna just kind of braid it in there the same motion I was braiding before with my natural hair. We're gonna go ahead and repeat the same step, adding another small piece of boho hair. We still kind of at the top, so we're gonna keep using those very small pieces. And you're gonna keep doing that until you get it to the thickness that you like. Okay. So once you feel like it's at the thickness that you want it to be, I think I'm gonna stop here because it's pretty consistent with the other ones. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add my first piece of boho hair. Told you I was going for that messy look, so I'm gonna go with a very, very skinny piece. So the way I add the boho hair, right? This is the hair. I can't even see because it's so thin, but this is the tip of the hair. I'm going ahead and I'm gonna add that same way I was adding braiding hair. I'm gonna put it under my middle finger. I'm gonna grip it tight, and then I'm gonna take the rest of the hair, which is the longer piece. I'm gonna flip it upwards so it's not in my way, and I'm not accidentally braiding it into the braid. And I'm gonna go ahead and braid that in. So I'm gonna braid down probably 2 or 3 times before I pull, just to make sure it's secure. As y'all can see, it's not moving. Then we can go ahead and add in another piece. I'm gonna go slightly bigger, not too big. Same method, putting it under my middle finger, and then pulling the longer piece out. All right. So for length, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add in another piece of braiding hair. Same method, under that middle finger. All right, y'all, I'm taking another break just to stand up a little bit. I'm gonna make me something to eat, and then we're gonna get back into it. But this is how we're looking. Honestly, it's going pretty well. Like, I feel like I'm moving at a decent pace for this to be my first time. I think I should be done definitely by tomorrow, the latest, like afternoon, not even a full day. So I think I did pretty good, but we'll see. Clean some of this hair up, and then I'm gonna go finish off my hair, get in the shower, and then take some pictures. Okay, finally, I know people be doing them and they be like, oh, I would never do that again, X, Y, and Z. Honestly, I would do it again, but I don't think I'll be doing small because the way my arms was hurting and it felt like I was done every 2 seconds and still had a bunch of braids to go. All right, y'all, we're done, we're done. Finally, let me just show y'all the back before I go ahead and dip them. All right, it's been a long time coming, but a change has came, amen. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in 2 braids. Take a flexi rod, smaller size, like this, and I'm gonna just curl it this way. Wow, and I had a smaller size in here. Baby, I'm tired. I don't even care. I'll just use this size. So we're gonna take this old vase I had. This is all I could find that I actually don't mind putting my hair into. I'm gonna just pour my boiling water into that. It's hot. Ooh, that is super hot. This was like letting it towel dry as much as I can. I think that should be good enough. We're gonna go ahead and take out the flexi rods. All right, y'all. This is how we're looking so far. Oh, baby. Jeez. It's about hot. I'm gonna go in with my mousse. This has got to be my favorite part. Like, it just makes me feel like mission accomplished. My oil Sheen. This is the finished look. The outcome, I'm very satisfied. Doing my own braids, like, that's a whole nother level unlocked. I'm sorry. So y'all can see they're long and full, just how I wanted them. And yeah, about to get in the shower. I'm gonna do my lashes, my edges. This is just yeah, how it looked if it was to go in a ponytail. Oh, and they're so lightweight. Like, I don't like, I feel like if it was just my hair. Oh, don't mind the edges. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you for watching. This has been fun. This has been real. If you're thinking about doing your own boho knotless, I hope this video helped you or encouraged you. Bye.